Yes, the Matt Mercer Effect, the legendary D&D dilemma. If you've not heard of the Matt Mercer Effect, air quotes, then let me explain. Matt Mercer is the highly acclaimed DM of Critical Role. He is the Mac Daddy, essentially, of performance D&D.
How are you? You come to do business, eh?
The effect is that Critical Role, or more specifically Matt Mercer, gives an extremely unrealistic idea of D&D to players, but more often than not, new players. Now, there is two reasons why I'm talking about this today. The first is from a parody video from XP to level 3, a really funny content creator, and he plays an extremely dramatized version of Matt Mercer, where he has long hair and everything like that, and he changes his entire DMing style to Matt Mercer.
You head over to the tavern. The door creaks as you make your way inside. There are a few people drinking and laughing. Clink!
To be fair, it is actually quite a funny video, so I would suggest you go check out XP to level 3. Guy makes great content. Ironically enough, the imposter that he's playing up and parodying, take 10 to 15% off, actually quite a good player. And if you check the comment sections, there's actually a lot of people that say that it would be a great DM as well. The second is a new campaign that was started for Curse of Strahd, where my wife is DMing. The only other exposure she has to D&D is playing a half-orc on Waterdeep and Critical Role.
Perfect! It's meant to be! How many are you buying?
To be fair, she had a bit of a leg up because she's quite a talented writer and she's highly descriptive, as she's currently writing a book. Shh. And let me tell you, as far as the DM part goes, the Matt Mercer Effect is bullshit. She absolutely killed it on her first session. She was descriptive. She interacted well with NPCs. She interacted well in the fights. The pacing was amazing. She was well prepared. She was aware of instructions and placement of characters. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty goddamn proud of her. In my eyes, Matt Mercer actually creates an insane standard. Is his level of production, his talent, his leather armbands achievable? Probably not. Is the way he handles fights, discussions, events, NPCs, interactions, etc., etc., etc. Are these possible? Yes, they are. See, the effect seems really short-sighted. If the style of Matt Mercer isn't the way you like to DM, man, that's cool. Totally cool. Preface to your players before you start about how your playstyle is and what you do and don't do. Do you do voices? Cool, do it. Don't do voices? Tell them that. Prefacing with your style of DMing is the best way to start a campaign. If you want to take influence or even completely lift your mannerisms from Matt Mercer, do it. Oh my goodness. In saying that, if you have a different DM style, that's cool too. You know, that this creates new experiences for players who have an overly descriptive or intense DM can play with another DM who is a little bit more mild-mannered, and it's a much calmer sort of into the line of your players being the higher octane part of that campaign. To conclude, and kind of clear the air on some parts of this discussion and a few other ones that I've seen as I've gone that I'm just going to kind of throw out my opinion on. Matt Mercer isn't ruining D&D. I've seen this a lot, which is kind of frustrating really, because I think the man is extremely talented and he just gives it 100%. You know, I think DMs who hate the Matt Mercer effect or hate just Matt Mercer, I think you're very close-minded, and maybe you should take a look at how either you do it, or maybe you need to be a little bit more, a little bit more in tune with your players, or maybe you just need to have a talk to your players so they can understand where you're coming from. Players who expect your DM to be Matt Mercer. They're not Matt Mercer. They'll never have his hair, okay? Okay, the man's just got that beautiful flowing hair, all right? And I've seen him wear a sleeveless cardigan like twice. Goddamn, does that man pull off a sleeveless cardigan. In the end, we're here to play D&D. It's a fun time where we all create an imaginary world, creating that fantasy, and it's everybody else putting in effort with everybody else. So all you have to take away from this is that it's about having fun. Keep your expectations within reason of human beings and we'll be absolutely fine. In any case, have fun and do it your way, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for checking out the video. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and like. If you didn't enjoy it, subscribe and like. It'll make me feel better.